What up, people? This is your boy Crypto Salvo here, and today we'll be talking about Quant Network once again. That's right, QNT is the ticker for Quant Network. It is our house favorite, and there has been massive updates and news on Quant and about what it's doing recently, right? So as we see here, in front of us, the news about Quant working in the Digital Pound Foundation. Yes, Quant is the founding member in the Digital Pound Foundation. What is Digital Pound? We know that there are development of CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, that are being developed in various countries right now, and basically Digital Pound is one of them. That's right, Digital Pound is being created and implemented using Quant's technology as well. That is why we see here where they have mentioned that they are proud to be a foundational member in the Digital Pound Foundation. We'll be taking a look at how this would in fact affect Quant's price, Quant's utility, Quant's value in the coming years ahead. Now, recently Quant has released their 2.1.2 OVN, and if I'm not wrong, 2.1.3 is where they will release the RGT, or the gateways, if I'm not wrong, the RGT feature, right? To know more about the RGT features and the roadmaps and all, you can follow Crypto Nerd. Shout out to Crypto Nerd and Crypto Eugene. I believe that's their names, their Twitter handles. You can take a look. They have given a map on the Quant's release and Quant's updates for their interface, right, for their technology. Now, we see here about how Gilbert Verdian, the CEO of Quant, talking about the Digital Pound Foundation, how they are involved in the Digital Pound Foundation. Let's just take a look at that.
Hi, I'm Gilbert Verdian, CEO at Quant. We're very excited to be part of the launch of the Digital Pound Foundation today. This is an important milestone for the UK. We've already got the most advanced payment system in the world, and having a digital pound allows...
We've already have the most advanced digital payment. What did he say? We've already got the most advanced payment system in the world.
And having a digital pound allows us to
innovate further, right?
Yeah. To increase competition, openness, and the exportability of a digital pound across the world in various use cases. Why is this important for us? So at Quant, we're innovators in DLT and blockchain technology. We're constantly creating standards. We've solved interoperability, and this is a great way to be involved to help make cross-border use cases and new innovation and new payment types and flows for businesses and consumers. Thank you.
This is amazing news, guys. We heard from the CEO, the man himself, right, that how they want to innovate further of the advanced payment system we already have, and to innovate further, of course, interoperability, which is the most used term in the Quant community, because we know that Quant is the main use case of Quant is interoperability. And now I'm going to talk about how this theme, interoperability, is being spoken about in various places by various important people in the tech space, including Mark Zuckerberg, right? Facebook CEO, which is also now called Meta, and how he has mentioned about Quant in an indirect way, because in the Quant community, once we hear interoperability, man, immediately the first thing that comes to our mind is Quant, because Quant is the mother of all networks, the network of networks. It is the interoperability king, right? or Queen, whichever. So we'll be taking a look at some of the price TA, how Quant can appreciate in the value in the coming months. Now, before I jump on to the interoperability part, I wanna talk about new exchanges listing Quant. Now, recently we have FMFW.io that has listed Quant Network in their exchange, right? So the good thing is, when more exchanges are listing Quant, what happens is there is more demand, of course, for that supply, that scarce supply. Now we have to understand that Quant's supply is so scarce, this is much more scarce than Bitcoin's 18 million or its max supply 21 million. Quant's supply is actually 12 million and the maximum supply is 14 million, man. The max supply is also much more scarce than Bitcoin. Now, the thing about the scarce aspect of the Quant network is that the exchanges, the supply that is held on exchanges are dropping, right? Now we will be taking a look at some token metrics of Quant network and how in fact even the supply that is held on exchanges are dropping now, and the token holders are increasing. So basically people do not want to sell Quant at all, or don't want to hold their Quant in exchanges. They want to custody it, self custody it, put it in a cold wallet, throw it into ledger, and hold it for a long term. So all of the Quant holders, people who are buying Quant right now, are turning into long term bulls and hodlers, right? So which is very very bullish for Quant, because once people start fighting for that 1% supply, for that that is moving in exchanges, and it starts to there's going to be a supply shock, then it's going to come for Quant. You have to understand that in my previous video I've mentioned about how they are locking up 7 million Quant away, for the gateway, for the OVN, for staking purposes, right? And when that happens, there's only 7 million supply running around in the exchanges. We are going to see much more price appreciation in QNT for Quant. Now, whatever I've said here and written here, shown here, is not financial advice. Do your own research. Please evaluate your risk portfolio. I am not your financial advisor. Now, with that being said, I would just jump on to the token metrics that I've mentioned earlier, of how CoinFi has given us Quant token metrics, currently sitting at 275.82 USD Quant, right? Now, there was a bit of pullback. We'll be taking a look at the charts later. And now these are the exchanges that Quant is listed in. Now we already have most of the exchanges, most of the mainstream exchanges have listed Quant already. We have Coinbase, we have Binance, Mandela Exchange apparently has, the second highest volume for Quant. Now, I want to talk about Binance and Coinbase. Now, it was a good thing that Coinbase and Binance listed Quant, and they got the volume that came from Quant, from people buying Quant. They are benefiting too. But the thing that I noticed is, what? I'll say that when I tell you from the charts, right? I could be wrong from what I'm gonna say, but this is what I've noticed once Quant was actually listed on Binance and Coinbase. Okay, now I'll just leave you there, and I don't mean to give you some thrill or like some suspense, but I want to talk about it when I show you the charts, because it would make more sense. Now, going below, we see how the Quant token metrics, right, the percentage of Quant on exchanges right now is only 1.59% that's being held on exchanges. Now, let's say 14 million is the 12 million is the circulating supply of Quant, then we would say about, let's see, let's see, 1.59% times 12 million, there's 190.8k, right? 190.8k, sorry, one more zero, is it 120, 12 million, sorry, yep, 12 million, all right, yep, it's correct. 190.8k quant are only available right now. There are only 190.8k quant is available in exchanges right now. Let's say a whale decides to sweep up, right, the supply, that is going to be mad, and I believe it is going to happen. And talking about whales, we are going to talk about whale activity as well. Now, as the supply on exchanges are dropping, we have we always also we also have new investors jumping on board, and the early investors, the percentage of early investors hodling, right, the quant has reduced. Like people who has bought in much cheaper prices at like at $1 or like 50 cents or 80 cents when quant was in those prices in 2019, um, the early stages, right? Those early investors, the supply has been distributed to new investors as well. So now we have both early and the new investors hodling together, which is also a good thing, because we know that these early investors will not be able to actually cause any significant impact in price when they sell or they dump their tokens in the exchanges. It's a good thing. Like if you see over the past months or the past year, Chainlink, right, that has been much compared to Quant. People who actually, we have the Link Marines, that's what they call themselves in their community, Chainlink community, that they do not they do not have a good impression of Quant, because Quant is definitely a direct competitor to Chainlink. That's what they think, right? So the thing is, because of that, now the issue is, Chainlink's supply right now is held by the early investors mostly, and by the whales mostly. In fact, most of the supply is right now held by the early investors and the whales, or the Chainlink whales. And the problem is, if they dump on the new investors or the retail FOMO when it happens during the last phase of the bull run, which is right now we are in December, it is going to be it's going to be bad for the new investors, the retail investors who are going to buy Chainlink, right? Of course, none of this is financial advice, but I'm just saying, from my own perspective, my own view, my personal opinion on how, when a huge amount of supply is being held by the whales of their token, they could dump it anytime they want, and only the retail investors who bought just a small portion would definitely get dumped on by these whales. Now, so it is a good thing that we have Quant, being held by both early investors and also new investors who have jumped on board, right? And is now spread apart, though is scarce. So these are huge flags for a bullish scenario for Quant Network. Now, it is number 510 rank out of 1,102 coins. 1.1% early investors still hodling these metrics here. Unique wallets hodling token. Now, I do not know what do they mean by unique wallets, but there are 28.5k wallets, unique wallets that they're holding Quant. Maybe unique wallets are wallets that have huge amount of money, right? Now, percentage of tokens held by top 100 wallets. Look at that, 71.6% tokens held by top 100. That is mad. That means, in fact, the top 100 wallets in cryptocurrency, right, in the whole crypto market, they hold 70% of Quant's supply. Now, is that bullish? Yes, in that sense it is, but as I mentioned earlier also, that these people could definitely sell their Quant as well. These are the whales wallet, but I believe that definitely these whales love Quant, especially the Ethereum whales, and I do have a case for that, right? So we will take a look at, sorry, on whale activity now. Hold on, I just saw that I think, yeah, so there is a whale activity, right? We saw earlier, if I'm not wrong, there is some whale activity, right? So let's just type ETH whales, right? ETH whales stats, ETH whale stats, right? Yep, whale stats. Yeah, I'm following them. They have mentioned that people have let me just go to NewsQuant. Shout out to NewsQuant. Thank you so much for helping out with the news, right? Please, if you want to check out much more news, you can check out NewsQuant. They daily post about what's happening in the quant space, right? Let me just take a look at where it was held. As mentioned about Quant's token. Yep, there we go. Quant will just bought 6.9k Quant token, right? This is under the top 1000 Ethereum rich list whale stats. In fact, there is another whale alert where, you know, we have seen how the Ethereum whales love Quant, man. There we go. ETH whale just bought 7.45k, almost 7.5k Quant. That is almost 2 million worth, right? That is insane. So Ethereum whales love Quant Network and Quant, and what is it doing? Now, with that being said, I'll take a look at Quant's price, value, and appreciation right now. Right now it's sitting at 273.50 cents, and you know, this is roughly a triangle that I drew, and I know there has been accumulation that's been happening here. I believe this a bull flag. There is accumulation that's happening before a huge upside, right? So the triangle gets tighter around the first week of November, or the start of second week, right? So I'm expecting to see Quant to move around the first week of November. How far does it move to the upside? I do not know, but I believe $500 is the bare minimum, or $800 is the range, right? 500 to 800. Now we saw the same kind of accumulation in various phases of Quant's market cycle, right? In this market cycle where Mr. Nagato, Crypto Nagato, has mentioned about it, where, you know, this phase has an accumulation period, this phase had an accumulation period, this phase an accumulation period, this phase is now having an accumulation period. Now what does that mean? Obviously, often the charts rhyme and history rhymes with one another. So when you see an accumulation, it is a bullish thing, because obviously you have seen the upside happening every time Quant accumulates in these huge time frames, right? It may seem long, it may seem draggy, but it is a good thing, because it is setting that floor, you know, because you realize once it accumulates, it never goes back down to that price, because it has set that floor, it has set that bed. When it has set that strong foundation, that solid foundation, now it is setting a solid foundation once again at $270 to $280. Now once again, you see that the support, there's a huge support near the 250 to 270 range, right? The 250 to 270 range, there's a huge support, and if we break that support, we can definitely revisit the breakout area, right? But the support is still holding, and we are still within the triangle. Now there's nothing to be afraid of. Of course, there's a bit of pullback in Bitcoin. It was at 62k and then it dropped to 60k. Now most of the coins are down, That's right. There are some outliers, and however, we can definitely see it doesn't matter. You don't FOMO into something just because Quant is not moving. Now, we have a guy called Michael who actually sold his Quant for SHIB, and he's ready for $1 SHIB. This is so funny because we know that Shiba Inu $1 with the supply is not happening unless like they claim that they're gonna burn Shiba Inu supply, and that means to burn like almost 3/4 of the supply. Then yes, we can talk about $1 Shiba. But right now, if you tell me that we are gonna sell Quant for Shiba Inu, if you tell me, will I sell Quant for Shiba Inu just because it did a 10x, is moving up and up and up? There's so much trend on the meme coins right now. I'm gonna say no, because they already have done a 10x, they already have done 5x. However, the tokens that I hold are not moving yet, and that is a good thing, because that means I'm in a good position and I'm just going to wait it out. Let me tell you, patience is the most scarcest asset, and that is what I tweeted today, right? It's frustrating to see like tokens like HBAR, XRP, Quant, and all these utility tokens that are doing well in actually ushering the new financial system, the ISO 200.22, right? The new messaging system. While these projects are actually helping to to improve the financial system, we see them being sold off once they like move, even like 10% or 20%, immediately they drop back to that price. I do not know why people are so quick to sell them, but I believe we are in a phase where people just want to put their money into funny tokens like Shiba Inu, Doge, or Floki Inu, or the clones of Doge basically. And I think we are in that phase, right? So after this, what will happen is that it is a good thing, because now retail investors are back in the game. They are inside the game right now, and they'll be looking into buying tokens, right? They'll be looking into buying good potential projects right now, and we need that retail FOMO for the Q4 and for the exit liquidity and all. As much as I sound evil, but that is true. This is how the Q4 is going to be so bullish, where retail people will FOMO in to the tokens that we're already holding, and that is the utility tokens. Now, currently we have 36.4k Quant holders right now. That is insane. Trust me, when this hits 40,000, you're going to see the supply on exchanges drop much lower. I could see a 0.5% of supply exchanges being held, supply held in exchanges right now. We have Crypto Sloth's Medium here talk about the Internet of Value, a paradigm shift, where he talks about Quant, so you can check out his article, the Overledger OS and DLT adoption, right? So basically, what Quant does is, now we have talked about how permissionless DLTs, they can communicate with one another, and CEO Gilbert Woodian has mentioned how about permissioned DLTs. They are stuck in their own blockchain systems. They do not have interoperability. How do you solve that? And that's when Quant comes in and solves that interoperability issue with permissioned distributed ledger technologies. All right, talking about coming back to interoperability, right? Now, we see how Mark Zuckerberg has now talked about interoperability in their new release of Meta, Facebook's new release. In order to unlock the potential of the metaverse, there needs to be interoperability, and that is what he has mentioned. So there is a name drop for Quant. That is what I believe. That is what the Quant community believe, those who are qualified. Right, now, Digital Pound Foundation. The founding members are CGI, Electronium, Ripple, Quant. Associate members are Accenture and Avalanche. We have to understand that Accenture is working on digital dollar foundation, digital dollar project in US, right? So we can definitely see how now they're exposed to Quant. In fact, you have, in my previous video, I've mentioned how Accenture is partnered with Ripple, and they are using the ODL platform, I believe, which means XRP being used as a settlement token. for cross-border payments, and Accenture is using that, and now they are building both digital pound foundation and digital dollar, right? So now Quant is in the mix, so we can definitely see Quant being utilized for digital dollar as well, right? And I believe Ripple will be part of it as well. Electronium is something that interesting that recently I found out is a very low cap low cap token. It can be found on KuCoin, right? And also Avalanche, man. Avalanche is amazing. AVAX is something that I always wanted to get into. I want to talk about. Definitely it is in my bear market shopping list. I'm gonna stack some Avalanche in the bear market. Do your own research. None of this is financial advice once again. Now, who are they? Who are the board directors? We have Gilbert Verdian here, right? Definitely the people. There are some people here from this Electronium. Yeah, we have Susan Friedman from Ripple, right? The head of policy. So we see how Electronium, Ripple, Quant, right? And then Aval Labs, Avalanche, right? They are all in here. So that is interesting. Now, board directors, we have Gilbert Verdian, Ripple, and Quant, and Electronium. So they are at the forefront of digital pound foundation. Do you not think that the IMF or the World Economic Forum has not noticed this? Definitely they have, and we are going to see much more value being processed by XRP, Ledger, and as they utilize the ODL and also the Quant network, right? Now, let's say Quant reaches Ethereum's current market cap. That is super bullish, right? That is 136x from here, man. That is crazy. Or even let's say ADA's market cap, right? Cardano. There we go. That is a 16.99x. You telling me this won't happen at the Q4, the phase of the bull run? Maybe it'll happen, maybe it doesn't. Maybe 3,000 is where Quant may go in this market cycle. But I'm telling you, no matter how long it takes, this is going to happen. Or even that Ethereum market cap comparison that you saw just now. So I am I'm super bullish on Quant. You all know I have been bullish on Quant throughout this whole channel's creation, right? So we'll be seeing how, definitely there has been talks about, Quant being used in MasterCard as well. I'll be talking more about that in the next video. This video is already long, and with that being said, of course, comment down what's your price prediction for Quant. Are you bullish on Quant? Right, I am bullish on Quant. I'm not gonna sell any of my Quant. And do your own research. Check out Quant in your own time. Please do evaluate your risk portfolio. So with that being said, Crypto Salvo is out. Take care. See y'all.